Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm from Michigan. My name is Wade, and I'm gonna tell you my story. I'm 51 years old. Been in ministry for a long time, seen a lot of things, but I've never really seen anything like what I've seen in my life in the last 2 years. 2 years ago, April 21st, I was given 2 years to live. I have a severe lung disease, and it's supposed to kill me, scientifically speaking. But ever since then, it's been like a new lease on life. Like, maybe I'll die, maybe I won't. But I've never really felt like I was going to die. I feel like living stronger, doing more things. Um, I don't know, growing my hair out, acting a fool. But nothing like, everything that's, like I say, I tell people, as long as it's not fattening, immoral, or illegal, I'm going to I'm gonna do it, and most of the fattening stuff I'm still doing. So. But I I want to reach people. I feel an urgency, and I don't know if the urgency is because I feel like I'm gonna die, or if it's an urgency because I'm gonna live. But the urgency is a positive thing because it just makes me want to go out and reach people. It makes me want to go out and see people come to know Christ, and I just want to go out and grab people up and love on them, and be there for them. And all of that stuff being said, you never really know. But I still have faith. And during the course of this thing, I have had moments where there's been like, 20 or 30 minutes at a time once in a while where I feel discouraged and I feel like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I am going to die or whatever. But most of the time that isn't the case. But there was a time about 6 months ago where I was at home in this room, and uh, it's not a very big room, and there's not a whole lot here except for where I sleep and all that. But I was here, and I started coughing, and my coughing led into gasping for breath. My gasping for breath got crazy, and up until this time, I hadn't really had a real attack slash incident. Um, but I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't know how to deal with it. But I started gasping for breath, and I was on this bed, and I started flailing around. And what you see in the movies is not the way it is. In the movies, when someone gets a pillow put over their head or whatever, and they kind of move around a little bit, maybe put their hands on the pillow, and then it's over. It's not like that. I fought hard. My hands were banging up against the wall here, and my knuckles were bloody, and I would try to suck in air, but I couldn't get any air in, but I was blowing out. And when I was blowing out, I was basically blowing spit. So there was spit flying, and I was flailing and trying to get help. And my mom was here, and my son was here. My mom was trying to take my temperature, because it's hard for other people to understand what you're going through. And mom keeps trying to, take my temperature, whatever, try to make me feel better. But I want to say, I'm dying, Mom. I don't have the flu. But my son was here, and he ran out to the car and got my rescue inhaler. And by that time, I'm in the floor, and I'm flailing around, and I can't even really see people anymore. I see more like lights, and I can hear voices, but I can't really see normal stuff. And he gets my inhaler and administers it to me, so it's like in my mouth. And when I was gasping, he would spray it, and I would get a little bit every time. And each time I got a little more. So eventually I came to, like realization or whatever, that I was on my knees in the floor with my inhaler in my hand. And my son went out to talk to my mom, and I was in the floor, and I realized that I had a bad experience. But it wasn't until the next day at the doctor that I found out that that was an end-stage incident, and it should have killed me. And truthfully, if my son hadn't been here to get my inhaler, it would have killed me. And so that day was kind of hard, and I had a moment, and there's been a few times like that since then. But for the most part, life isn't about being sick. I'm sick, but I have stuff to do, and as long as I have stuff to do, God has so much more for me to do while I'm alive. And there's a song, country song, which is not my favorite type, but this song is a really good song. It's a really good message. Live like you're dying. Because that's exactly the way you should live your life. Because like I said, the best thing that ever happened to me in my life that I can think of, outside of when my son was born and that kind of stuff, but the best thing overall for my life that's ever happened is when I was told I had 2 years to live. Because in those 2 years, I have lived a lot. And I even lost a little bit of weight. I hope I lose a lot more. But I guess I just wanted to say that I'm not scared of dying. I'm scared of not living. So ever since they told me that I was dying, I've been doing my best to live, to really live, to get out and reach people and love people and just be what God created me to be. And if it's His will for me to die soon, then that's okay. But I can tell you this, I'm planning a party at Jumpin' Java, which is a cafe here where I do street ministry, and that's where most of my stuff happens there. I work out of that cafe, and I can tell you right now that April 21st, we're having a Celebrate Life party at Jumpin' Java, and it's going to be crazy. And we're going to have some bands there, and we're going to do just whatever, just stuff to celebrate life. And I told the owner when I got permission to do it, and I was talking to her about whether I can do this or not. I told her that, that's my expiration date. And I call it that because, sell by, whatever, expiration date. But I don't plan on dying. But if every day that I live past that day is awesome. But I told her if I didn't make it, that I wanted her to have that party anyway, because whether I'm here or not, you still need to celebrate life, and you still need to realize that life is a beautiful thing. It's a gift, and there's nothing that the world can throw at me that God's grace can't keep me. And I guess just from my heart to yours, I hope that you don't have to be told that you're dying for you to truly live. I hope that you don't have to be told something that scares you to make you want to do something with your life. But in my case, my life I've loved my life. I've had a lot of really cool things. I've been in ministry for a long time. I've seen a lot of really cool things and done a lot of really neat things. But I've never actually, I guess, I don't know, I guess I thought I had a lot more time. And maybe I do. But what if I don't? What if someone else doesn't? Is the thing that worries me now. The urgency that I feel is, it's not so much what if I don't have time. It's what if that person doesn't have time. So I want to reach them. I want to do stuff. I don't know, I have a bucket list. I've already done some of the stuff on there. It's really cool. And I don't know, I think a bucket list is good for everybody. But on there, don't just say things like, I want to stand on my head in the corner or whatever, some goofy thing. How about really living? How about really doing something that makes your life worthwhile? That makes your life something that you can be proud of, something that God would be proud of. And I want you to know I'm praying for you. And I ask you to pray for me too. But I'm praying for you, and that you'll come to something, a moment in time where you know that you have a purpose, that God loves you, and you don't have to be afraid of life. Get out there and live it. Don't just talk about it.